Hey, Scrappy Peeps, it's Suzanna here today for P5PP. So it is my collaboration that I do with Sarah where you pick 5 items. Those are the 5 items, and this is the layout that I created using those 5 items plus the May kit. So we are working with the May kit. So the 5 items are this rainbow pattern paper from Heidi Swap, that pattern paper that is the B side, the stamp set, the 3x4 journaling card, and that pink label. In the photo it is blue, but I used that somewhere else and took that beforehand, and so we changed it to that pinky peachy color. So I always get the cardstock add-on, and so I am using one of the coordinating cardstocks as a frame because I know I want to do a stamped header up the top, and then I'm going to use one of the pattern papers as a border. I am also going to forewarn you that my finished layout that I just showed you ends up being a little bit different than what ends up being the finished layout at the end of this video. I do something with this rainbow paper. It's a rainbow cutout that I don't like initially, and I cover it, but I really hate it covered. And so the better of the two evils is what I had originally done. So I also have this other 3x4 card that I am going to fussy cut and make the rainbow-ish, and it kind of becomes this handle on either side. So that pattern paper at the bottom, that is a custom paper that comes with the kit, and you have all of the 3x4 cards on the flip side of it. As subscribers, you get those 3x4 and all of the cards as printables, and so you can print them yourself, which is really nice because that way you can get a lot more out of the kit. And another card has this floral on it, and I'm going to fussy cut that and go ahead and skip the process of you having to watch that. And I'm going to use that on the layout, but I have yet to figure out exactly where that's going to go. But the reason that I cut out those sort of, I'm going to call them sideways rainbows now, or handles, is because there's a lot of color in that B-side paper, and these are all of the colors, so they happen to coincide with 3 of the stamp pads that I have from PaperPerson, and I know that there's a lighter pink, and so I'm also going to use a distress oxide. So what I have here, I'm just testing the colors to see how they work with the pattern paper and make sure that I've pulled the bulk of the color that I want. I don't want it to be too busy, so I'm going to use the 3 from PaperPerson and then this third one because I don't have that sort of blushy color from PaperPerson, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Distress Oxide for that. So this is called the emotions kit, the May kit, and so each of those phrases is actually an emotion, and so these pictures are of the cat in her carrier, and these are not the kittens that we have now, which are now cats. This is Belle, and so this was, I've actually done a layout of my face scratched by her, so this was taking her to the vet. Unfortunately, I don't have the date on here, but I did write the date on the back. I remember when I edited, so from 2018. And so there's a picture of her in the carrier and then her hiding underneath the bench at the veterinarian's office. And so upset was the phrase that I chose, and I just used all of those colors and created a header and just sort of repeat stamped that word upset. And then with that other stamp set, you have a bunch of other descriptor words. So today, feeling, and so I'm going to go in later and stamp in feeling. So I have those 2 pictures, and then I have my journal card. So far I've used the stamp, and I have used the pattern paper, which is down the bottom, so that's 2. And this card, that journal card on the right-hand side, that is the 3rd one. Now I'm figuring out how I'm going to use this rainbow pattern paper, or this rainbow cutout, really, die cut. And I'm not sure, and that is where I fall apart with this whole layout. I'm not sure where to put these red things, and I like them hiding the transition. And so that is why they're going to go there instead of lower down. And they actually end up providing balance to those circles that you can see in the pattern paper. So I know I want to use this light green mint just to provide balance to the 3x4 card, but I'm not sure where I'm going to put that at this point. There's some really awesome puffy stickers and labels that come with the kit. This is the May kit again. So I've used no thanks because she's hiding underneath, and no thanks, I'm not going in there. That one says not today. So I'm using the negative feelings, and I think that to me that's the bulk of this kit once again is more the negative feelings, and I kind of struggled with that because things are actually getting pretty good right now for us. Virginia has opened up, and so yeah, the colors are not my colors either. If you've seen my videos lately, you see I work really well with primaries, the brighter colors. These softer pastels are a real challenge to me, so I don't see using much of this kit. So I skipped my stamping feeling into the little gap in the words there. And so now I have this printed 4x6 card, and I'm not sure why I felt the need to have to put it there. I think I felt that I needed to have something that united the elements moving across the page, and it works. There's part of that same color palette in there, but I don't know. This is just not one of my favorite layouts. I'm glad I told the story. I really like the repeat stamping up the top, but there's no, I don't know. It's not bad, it's not terrible, the story is told, but it is certainly not one of my favorite layouts. And I think in part, really, it is the color palette, and it just didn't flow. Most of my layouts come together pretty, you can see the flow coming together, but this you can see I just struggle with, it just doesn't feel united, I think is what it is. It feels higgledy-piggledy. So yeah, so apparently I didn't cut out all of the background of that, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim that up. I've used my fourth element now because I have that pink circle in there, so the only thing of the pick 5 that I still have to use is this, the Heidi swap. And I kind of cheat, and I end up using a black pen and tracing it with the idea that I'm going to go in with watercolor, which I do, but I will tell you, as I'm designing and I'm filming, I don't like it. And I think it was just sort of my overall feeling. It felt like it competed with those really bright maroony sideways rainbows. And I also didn't like, I end up using the ink pad, and it felt like it was smudgy. So I'm going to play with that for a little while, and it feels like it's pilling the paper, which is why I will go in a second and I will get my Peerless watercolors and use that. But I overall don't like it. So I end up covering it up, which is going to come in a minute. And I left that in the video so that you see what I have, and then you see what I cover it up with and how that just absolutely makes it worse. And so it's not actually until I take the pictures, or actually till after I take my final pictures, that I end up, fortunately, while it's a permanent adhesive, I'd let it sit long enough that I could take those elements off and I could use my Thermoweb eraser, adhesive eraser, and get all of that off. It's not a really tight adhesive on these things. So these are random elements from Crate Paper. That brown craft circle is from Maya Road, and basically they're there to just cover up what I didn't like, but I actually liked what I had more than what I used to cover it up. Do you see? It's just chaos. There's nothing that grounds the layout. There's no visual triangle. There's no balance. That's the big thing there, is there's no balance. When I just had the outline of the rainbows, there was sort of a flow because you went from the maroon handle rainbow, sideways rainbow, to the watercolor rainbow, down to the rainbow that I'm going to end up putting on the photo, then back up to the rainbow, and it moves your eye through all of those photos to the title and then over to the journaling. So while there isn't an actual visual triangle, there is the flow across the page when I get rid of those other things that I ended up adding. So this is the third one that I'm going to draw in, and there's no way of covering that, but I have to use it because it's pick 5, so there is my 5th use of the 5th product there. So you all know these alphas. Unfortunately, they're sold out. They're also from PaperPerson from, gosh, 3 or 4 kits ago, I want to say. And so I'm just going to stamp the title blah. Simple, easy, blah. I took the cat to the vet. She had fur missing on one of her ears, and she was absolutely horrid. She hissed at me. She scratched my eye. So it was blah for her and blah for me. And so just this tells the whole story. This shows the picture of her hiding underneath the bench, which I don't have in the other layouts that I've done. Sorry for my big old head, but I like to stand over my stamping, and of course my camera is directly over my layout as well. So again, this is a series. This is P5PP, so pick 5 of PaperPerson. I picked these 5 today, and Sarah Scraps is the other person who is in a part of this series. So be sure to head over to her channel and see what it is that she's created with these 5 products. Enjoy the close-ups. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the box down below. If you have questions about PaperPerson too, if I can answer them, I will certainly give that a shot. It is a great subscription. It sells out every month. So enjoy the close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you are doing well. Come back again soon. Take care.